Ah, come closer. Yes, you. Lend me your ear for just a moment. I want to tell you a story. It's not one of silver or gold, mind you. No, this tale is spun from something much more interesting. It's woven from the very threads of laughter and despair. They call me the Jester. And this is my story.
You know, in the great court, all they ever saw were the bells on my cap and that painted-on smile. Just a simple fool there for their amusement. But my role, my real purpose, was a much, much heavier burden. I wasn't just there to entertain. No, I was a guardian. You see, my kingdom was a place of perfect, rigid order. So every day for me was a performance, this careful dance on a wire stretched tight over a massive chasm of chaos. My entire existence was just a balancing act. That wire was my bridge, the very span of my life, and it was defined by this constant pulling tension. With every single joke, I had to balance the light of my performance against the crushing weight of my own shadow. All the truth as I kept locked away, for their own good. Just look at this. These were the two worlds I walked between every single day. On one side, you have the kingdom's order. All polished surfaces, rigid rules, the truths everyone agreed on. And on the other, well, that's the wild, untamed wilderness of the mind. All those chaotic depths and harsh realities nobody was ready to look at. And me? I was right there, living on that razor's edge between them, trying to shield the court from the very chaos I was holding inside my own heart. But here's the secret. The truth I tried to hide, even from myself. Behind my colorful costume, behind that mask of joy, another force was stirring, something much, much darker. This is the face you all knew, right? The mask I wore to delight everyone, to disarm them. The harmless entertainer. My job was to puncture those inflated egos just enough to let some air out, to maybe foster a little humility. It felt like a necessary service. But behind that mask, there was another one, a snarling, shadowy face. This was my trickster, my shadow self, and its purpose wasn't to heal. Oh no, its purpose was to wound, to make the laughter curdle into something cold and something destructive. And that's when my art, it turned into a weapon. My humor, it twisted and curdled into this bitter cynicism, this biting sarcasm. I started using mockery to just tear their whole world down. And why? Because I was absolutely terrified of the emptiness I felt churning inside me. I kept whispering to myself, if nothing is sacred, if nothing matters, then nothing can ever truly be lost. It was my shield. But of course, the performance could only last so long. The applause always fades. So the real question is, what happens when the fool is finally left all alone? When the audience finally leaves, the silence that rushes in to take its place, it's a physical weight. It's crushing. The laughter dies, and you're left to face the very void you've spent all day desperately running from.
And this was my greatest peril. Without the structure of the performance, with no mask to hide behind, I risked becoming a vessel for pure, destructive rage. I wasn't the jester anymore, I was just the emptiness he was designed to conceal. I was standing on a precipice, feeling like this eternal child who just refused to take root in the soil of reality. And I was terrified, truly terrified, that the very darkness I've spent a lifetime mocking was about to swallow me whole.
But it was right there, at the very edge of the abyss, that everything changed. A profound realization just dawned on me in the darkness. A tiny sliver of light in all that crushing silence. And I finally understood. I couldn't cut away the darkness. I couldn't destroy my shadow. The only way forward was to turn and face it. To find the courage to actually embrace the trickster I had kept hidden for so long.
You know, there's actually a name for this kind of sacred alchemy. It's called the transcendent function. It's the hard, beautiful, messy work of uniting your two halves. That's how I finally stopped running from the void. I learned to dance with it instead. It's how you learn to hold both profound meaning and complete meaninglessness in your hands at the very same time, and not get crushed by the weight of it all.
So, this became my sacred play. First, I had to truly face the emptiness, not just joke about it from a distance. Then, I had to stop using mockery as a shield. The third step, and this was the hardest one, I had to embrace my shadow,
to see it not as some flaw to be cut out, but as a necessary part of who I was. And only then could I begin to transform all that despair into real insight.
And so I came back to the stage, not divided anymore, but whole, carrying both the light and the dark inside me. And for the first time, I was finally at peace.
And this was the great wisdom I'd found. Life isn't a comedy, and it isn't a tragedy. It's a tragic comedy. It's both, all at once. The tears and the laughter, they spring from the very same well. And understanding that, well, it grants you a very rare kind of peace.
With these new eyes, I could finally see the truth of the court. Everyone, from the king on his throne to the cook in the kitchen, wore a mask. We all do. And here's the thing. They are both absolutely essential for survival in this structured world, and at the same time, they are fundamentally fake. Accepting that paradox, that gave me a serenity that the solemn and the stern could never, ever find.
And this is the ultimate lesson I brought back from the abyss, the greatest truth I ever taught the kingdom. Real wisdom isn't found in some grim pronouncement from a throne. It's discovered in the sacred act of play, and having the courage to dance with the sheer absurdity of it all.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought. My story is done now, but yours is still being told. We all wear our masks every single day. The question you have to ask yourself now is, what truths does your own mask hide?